A business born out of its founders experiencing firsthand the costly outcomes of poor communication. Conexie makes sure that the right people have the right information at the right time and get a great outcome. Please welcome Jake Hannon, pitching for Conexie.
How's it going?
Hello.
Good. G'day.
My name is Jake Hannon. I'm one of the co-founders of Conexie, along with Sebastian Jacobs and Matthew Wall. Conexie is designed and optimized for large groups of people who share a common interest but aren't on a common platform. Using Conexie, you could answer questions, solve problems, and share information, not only from people to people, but from devices to people as well. Our most exciting industry that we're in is energy. One of our customers is a car wash who is overusing 200 kilowatts of power every single morning. Utilizing Conexie, we were able to surface that data, put it in the hands of somebody who could action it, and save them money. The thing is, all this kind of data is everywhere right now, but using Conexie, you could put it in the hands of somebody who could do something about it and make it meaningful. Our team's comprised of 3 founders, all with experience in digital workflow optimization, and have done business across Asia, the United States, and Australia. In the first 6 months of this year, we've already booked in over $100,000 in annual recurring revenue locked into 5-year contracts. By the end of this year, we're planning on more than doubling that up to $250,000 in annual recurring revenue. Now, we're definitely proud of the growth we've experienced as a company, but we've also done a lot for our customers as well, optimizing over 1.8 million kilowatts of energy, equaling over $460,000. To find out how Conexie can help you, or if you want to jump on board, please reach out to the team. Thank you.
Guess I just want to know a bit more about what it does.
Yeah.
What could it do? You know, we're in a property development business.
Mm-hmm.
What could Conexie bring to us?
Yeah, you want to jump in?
I think one of the cool things about Conexie is, as Jake said, what we're actually selling is the convenience of taking data, surfacing it in a way that's meaningful to someone, and then distributing it to the right person to do something. So like what we'd like to say about it is we get the right information to the right people at the right time for the right outcome. So really, if you could apply that to any vertical, that you can see where there's maybe a breakdown in streamlining of workflow, or if there's large teams and scale in a business where you don't have that straight one-to-one communication anymore. There's a whole bunch of different applications for it. Strata is an example of where we actually entered the market with our product, because they do have one person who channels a lot of different people's interests and needs and then tries to filter that information back out. So with Conexie, you close that communication gap.
Okay, thank you.
So does it have application then within, say, construction firms, large infrastructure developments, and how does it integrate with other systems that would be in place? I mean, they transfer information all the time between all the different stakeholders, and so how did we build in another platform?
Yeah, so we kind of look at it as we're the missing piece on all those other platforms. So Caltex, for example, brought us in for a pilot study across their sites, and they have 5 sort of core software programs that they use, one for OH&S, one for their project management, one for accounting and payroll, things like that. But what they didn't have was that conduit piece, which they had, 7,000 retail-facing staff. They're not going to onboard those people on all those programs. What they did need was something light and easy to understand to channel them through to those things as needed. So like a bollard gets hit at the Caltex station, is that a maintenance problem or is it an OH&S problem? Well, actually it's both. So Conexie actually captures that information and distributes it to where it needs to go, which prior to us didn't actually happen. We introduced the OH&S team to the maintenance team while we were in that actual pilot, and they were sitting next to each other.
Yeah. So are you integrating with those other platforms?
So we capture the information, and then however it needs to be integrated to those platforms can be done through an API, but the data we capture can be completely transferable. And Seb's our product guy, he understands the tech side of it more, but yeah, what we capture can actually be interpreted into whatever system it needs to do. Typically, the one thing we found interesting though in the property sector was a lot of systems were not even in the cloud yet. Yeah. And so that created a challenge, but it also was quite exciting for us to work out ways around that. And I think now with the way things are moving, that's going to become less of a problem moving forward.
So what part of the property sector is your biggest target market then?
At the moment, energy owns the green energy movement. So we've partnered with some green energy financiers and providers who actually go in and they say, hey, we're going to install these things on your roofs. But what they didn't have was that turnkey solution, which was I'm the owner, I want to see this data, I want to see how it's meaningful to me and also how I can recuperate that investment. So we came in with them. So they install the hardware, we're the software piece and the information distribution piece that actually makes it viable.
Okay, good.
And is this driven from business rules in the background? I mean, how do you actually design and implement what the customer needs?
Yeah. So my background was business workflow mapping, and what we created and said did the product on this, which kind of is probably our special sauce, is a really agnostic back-end system that can actually be customizable to the decision tree of that business. So when you set up your account with Conexie, you can actually customize it to the way your workflow is as is, or you actually can sit with us and we can audit that process and actually streamline it beforehand, and you can get reap those benefits to start with as well.
And is that a no-code customization? Do I need any
deployed
tech
in minutes with
skills
no
to be able
code.
to do that?
It's if you can imagine it, it's like you're reading it from left to right. You start at a really high sort of overarching hierarchy, and then you move your way down to the granular level, and then as you move your way down, you depict who it is you want to become a recipient of it or where it wants to get channeled to. So you actually get to design your own workflow like that.
Awesome.
What's your go-to-market on the property industry? Like, how are you guys cracking into the different sectors? And
It's probably been an exciting part of the last couple of years for us, learning how some things work and some things don't. When we first created the product, we thought this is an immediate need for property managers because there's lots of things that are broken and people want to know about it. What we found out was property managers don't want to know. They actually were opposed to making it so transparent that they would have to do their job. And as much as that's, it's
That would
comical.
impact on the fees they charge.
Yeah, and so we learnt that, and it was cool because we actually found, well, where can you be on like a double, like both sides of this coin? Where are we making a win-win? And that's why we've sort of gone into this energy space where creating this portal of information and servicing this information actually benefits both the consumer and the installers. And that's made it a lot easier. And on the back of that, we'll probably look to farm that out and then move back into that holistic product that we are, which is that Comms Plus portal. So we're solving this need right now, optimizing a whole bunch of your energy consumption, improving your carbon footprint. Do you also want to improve the way that you can talk to your tenants or create community engagement and things like that in wider communities and precincts like universities and stuff like that?
Have you heard of the consumer data right? It's starting in banking and it's moving into energy, and it's about consumers being able to move their own data more easily from a data holder to a data recipient to facilitate price comparison and switching and things like that. But sounds to me like you possibly could have an angle in that space.
Yeah, definitely. Because the way our accounts are set up, we call them channels, which would be the legal entity that it represents. That legal entity then has almost like a logbook history of the way it's been managed and operated. And when, as a property manager, you go from LJ Hooker to Elders, you lose all that. But whereas what we create is the ability that then just gets appended to the new person. So our capability is there for that, but it's probably just not something we looked at in that angle.
Worth a look.
Yeah, thanks for raising it.
That's okay.
yeah, good. Yeah, really good, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jake.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Matt.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Seb. Good one.